up, y'all? It's D about to react to this RRG vid. It's titled Beyonce is a terrible businesswoman. Oh, the real reason her business is flop. Damn. All right, somebody sent me this. I was like, sure, all right, we'll check it out. We'll see how she's such a terrible businesswoman. But side note, don't ever think that y'all can't request videos just because you think that it doesn't align with my own personal views. That doesn't matter. This is my job. I'm here to react to what y'all request. It doesn't have to be things that I agree with. You know, I fuck with Beyonce, as some of you know, but I'm not about to be like, oh, I'm not reacting to anything negative about her. Oh, people are like, I'm never reacting to anything that depicts them in a negative light. Like, what the hell? I'm not on none of these people's payroll. I'm gonna react to what y'all tell me to react to and what the people want to see. I don't care if I agree or don't agree with the title. Like, it's not that deep to me. I personally like hearing other people's perspectives, whether I agree with it or not. That's how you acquire more wisdom and knowledge, hearing other people's takes. But just wanting to be in an echo chamber where everyone agrees with you and thinks like you, I think is very odd and keeps you slow. But sure, let's hear what RRG has to say, though. Let's watch. Turning snacks.
For 2 decades, Beyonce has mastered the art of
she got her normal voice
music,
on.
visuals, and
because she got 2 voices. She got her normal voice and then she got her auntie voice.
Speak for her. But behind that diamond-polished image lies a truth the Hive rarely discusses. Some of Beyonce's business moves couldn't even debut on the Hot Mess 100.
Bestie, you know you need to quit. Oh, Lord, here comes the storm. Here comes the Hive.
Why so low?
The Queen has dabbled in multiple industries outside of music, and while some had initial bursts of hype, many quietly fizzled, ended prematurely, or vanished without explanation.
Oh yeah, what happened to that fitness line she had? It was like, or not fitness, like athleisure. Ivy Park. What happened to Ivy Park? Was that athleisure?
In today's video, we'll be discussing the side of Beyonce's career she doesn't want the Bayhive to know about. But before we get into it, don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at RR from Mute Factory, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts.
She's not baking?
When Beyonce announced her fashion line, House of Derion, in 2004, it marked her ambitious leap from music to fashion. Co-created with her mother, Tacky Tina. Oops, I mean Tina Knows.
Bestie, you so damn messy. Don't be talking about that girl, Mama.
Right.
We like Tina. Don't we? We don't like the Tina Tacky. Let me go back.
The clothing brand was named after Beyonce's grandmother, Agnes Derion. The line promised to blend cutting-edge fashion with soulful elegance. Owned by Beyonce's and Tina's Beyond Productions, LLC, a company that Beyonce and Tina created, it featured ready-to-wear clothing that blended contemporary styles with vintage influences.
Okay, I was like, they sell men's clothes. This is not. This is a woman. Why are these Vans and socks so dirty? This is a crusty ass ad. I hope this fake.
Ready-to-wear clothing that blended contemporary styles with vintage influences.
This is so crusty.
Particularly drawing from 1940s.
Who took these photos?
And 1970s fashion. It seemed like a great idea, especially since Tina had designed many of Destiny's Child's outfits. She clearly had an eye for fashion. So what could possibly go wrong? The early rollout included celebrity endorsements, high-profile runway shows, and retail partnerships with Bloomingdale's. Beyonce also starred in the brand's Spring 2009 campaign, which was filmed in Bermuda. According to the New York Times, the brand's first-year projections were in the tens of millions, and after a few years, a junior line called Derion was launched. But from the start, critics weren't sold. Inconsistent quality and an unclear brand identity were 2 of the complaints. Reviews often described the pieces as overly busy, cheaply made, and off-brand for Beyonce's image. Some accused the brand of struggling to define its target audience, while others noted that the lack of a branding strategy adversely affected its market performance. By 2010, House of Derion quietly fled America and was distributed exclusively in European department and specialty stores. However, 2 years after that move, the brand was back in the US due to declining European sales, British Vogue reported. The brand's chief executive officer, Philip Davis, left the company, and Women's Wear Daily reported that several employees had their contracts terminated. And then the brand's junior line got discontinued, and House of Derion quickly followed suit. Beyonce never publicly addressed its demise. However, fashion insiders told The Guardian that the brand's failure stemmed from trying to ride too many trends at once, rather than building a signature style. So it's clear that star power can get your brand into stores, but it can't make customers whip out their credit cards.
Ain't that the truth?
In 2010, Beyonce launched her debut fragrance, Heat, through a licensing deal. It was an immediate success, with some reports indicating the fragrance earned $400 million globally. It was also named the best-selling celebrity fragrance brand worldwide. Additional releases like Heat Rush, Pulse, and Midnight Heat failed to match the original's numbers. And as the fragrance industry became increasingly crowded with celebrity scents, Heat lost its heat.
I see what you did there, Misty. Yeah, I see what you did.
By 2013, Beyonce's perfume line was being heavily discounted at drugstores, a telltale sign that the brand's retail momentum had faded.
When she said drugstores, like CB. Okay, I was automatically thinking like, cause at Marshalls they always have like the little cheap perfumes and stuff, like discounted. But damn, not even Marshalls. She said drugstores.
Companies' sales reports began focusing on other celebrity partnerships while quietly pushing Heat to the back burner.
Bye, Ashley.
In February 2019, Beyonce partnered with her trainer Marco Borges to create an organic, vegan, gluten-free, soy-free meal delivery service called 22 Days Nutrition.
Oh, I never heard of this, child.
We're gonna go 100% plant-based from now through Coachella.
I'm back on the stage after giving birth to twins. I was a woman that felt like my body was not mine.
We know the power of vegetables, we know the power of plants, we know the power of foods that are unprocessed and as close to nature as possible.
That sounds nasty as it should also cost, the cost should be free, because ain't nothing in it. What they feeding the people? Child.
Initially, the concept rode the wave of the clean eating trend. However, backlash was felt across the globe.
I want to try a food
A
delivery
spokesperson
service.
for the British Association for Nutrition and Lifestyle Medicine said that the vegan diet plan could be dangerous because the calories were too low and could cause nutritional deficiencies. By late 2016, media coverage had dried up, and the program quietly restructured into a product-based site, complete with a meal planning feature. The subscription meal service, which was the original selling point, has since been discontinued.
Damn.
Beyonce's first major foray into athleisure, Ivy Park, launched in 2016 as a 50-50 partnership with Topshop's owner, Sir Philip Green. The debut collection was a hit, selling out in hours at major retailers. But in 2018, sexual harassment and racial abuse allegations against Sir Philip forced Beyonce to buy out his 50% stake. While this was framed as a power move, insiders told Business of Fashion that the scandal had already tainted Ivy Park's retail relationships.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. That's
in
crazy.
early 2020, she relaunched Ivy Park under Adidas. The initial drops sold out instantly, but as the novelty wore off, sales plummeted. In 2023, the Wall Street Journal reported that Ivy Park's sales had dropped by more than 50% year over year, generating about $40 million, which was far below Adidas's $250 million projections. The partnership between Ivy Park and Adidas ended in March 2023 after they mutually agreed to part ways due to creative differences and disappointing sales.
Bye, Ashley. Again.
Of course, we can't forget the disastrous business venture known as Parkwood Entertainment. The company was initially founded in 2008 as a production company and teamed up with Sony Music and TriStar Pictures to produce the 2008 film Cadillac Records. In the film, Beyonce plays the lead role of Etta James. While she took home a Grammy for her rendition of Etta's song At Last, the film as a whole underperformed at the box office. BoxOfficeMojo.com stated the movie had a $12 million budget and only brought in approximately $9 million in revenue worldwide.
Dang, dog. Can you say flop?
The following year, Parkwood tried to produce yet another film called Obsessed, starring Beyonce and Idris Elba. This time, Parkwood hit a grand slam, and the film made over $70 million.
Cause y'all love these Tyler Perry ass movies. That's why this movie was horrible.
Worldwide with just a $20 million budget. Unfortunately, the reviews were terrible.
Can I just use that word? My powers are kicking back in. When I was on vacation, they wasn't nowhere in sight. They back. They back. I'm back.
And a writer for TheRinger.com went as far as to describe Beyonce as being a bad actress.
Ouch. Now, I've seen worse. I have seen worse. I ain't gonna call no names, but I've seen worse.
From there, Parkwood decided to expand its reach by becoming a management company and an imprint record label underneath Columbia Records. Beyonce brought on a team of assistants, executives, visual directors, creative directors, a general manager, a brand manager, and digital media experts to help her redefine her place in pop culture. After firing her dad in 2011 following allegations that he was stealing money from her, she managed herself through Parkwood and began releasing her studio albums and TV specials through the label. She signed several artists, including sisters Chloe and Halle Bailey. In 2023, Beyonce received backlash for the lackluster sales of Chloe's debut album, In Pieces. The album dropped with almost no public push from Beyonce. She didn't post about it on Instagram and didn't tweet congratulations. The album landed at number 119 on the US Billboard charts, selling only 10,000 copies in its first week.
Lord have mercy. Yeah. Did you say 10,000?
What did her and her sister say?
On Twitter and TikTok, the speculation got messy fast. Some fans accused Beyonce of quietly sabotaging Chloe's career by letting her debut project sink without the kind of visibility only she could provide. Others argued it was intentional distance away from...
If she not helping her own shit, how y'all think she gonna help other people? It's like, and sure, you can say, oh, well, those are businesses and this is music, but okay, clearly her power and influence isn't transferring to outside of just her music career. So I don't think that would have helped that much either, to be honest.
Beyonce to keep her own brand spotless while Chloe absorbed the mixed reviews and underwhelming sales. Whether it was a calculated business decision or a genuine disinterest, the narrative took on a life of its own, and it was clear to most that the mentor had left her own protege to drown. As for Halle, well, no little Tink Tink hasn't even released a debut studio album.
She busy fighting court.
One of the main problems is that Beyonce runs Parkwood the way she runs her personal brand, tightly controlled, highly secretive, and centered entirely on her own schedule and priorities. Emerging artists need constant visibility, media engagement, and creative momentum to break through in a crowded market. Parkwood artists rarely get consistent promotion. Chloe and Halle have admitted that most of Beyonce's guidance comes in the form of letters she sends them, which sounds less like active mentorship and more like a pen pal arrangement.
Beyonce said, I'm sending them a 4-page letter.
In other words, she's keeping her hands so far off her artists, you'd think they had a restraining order against her.
Bestie, you're a damn mess. You know that.
Another issue is that Beyonce's own mystique and perfectionism create an environment where the artists on her label may feel pressure to emulate her standards without having her resources or her platform. Instead of fostering individuality and unique branding, Parkwood sometimes comes across as trying to mold its artists into miniature extensions of Beyonce, which dilutes their personal artistry. The public rarely sees these artists' personalities or creative visions fully explored in a way that feels authentic and independent from their mentor's shadow. In the end, being a great artist does not automatically make someone a great label head. Beyonce's success has always been about...
I've never seen a case where an artist, especially one that is actively working, that they have artists under them and that works out well, you know? Oh no, I'm lying. Lil Wayne, he had Young Money, and Nicki and Drake were popping. Never mind. And he was active at the time, right? Or was he? I think he was kind of chilling at the time when they like really took off. Correct me if I'm wrong, But my point is, she got other shit to do because she's actively working as an artist herself. So I just don't think that was the best idea for Chloe and Holly to sign under her anyway.
Ability to control her narrative.
And your deal is always terrible.
Parkwood.
When you sign to a nigga that signed to a nigga that said he was signed to that nigga, you know, that's not a good idea when you're, you know, under multiple layers, if you will, like, because the money that you actually get is going to be so low. Is that what a 360 is? 360 deal? I don't know, but yeah, when people are signed to several, like the artist that you are signed to, they're signed to another label, like, that's not gonna work out well for you financially, and also I feel like as far as promo and stuff goes, because the resources from her label, the top label, whatever the top label is, they're going to her more so than they're going to you. Like, you gonna get like the trickle down little scraps.
Shortcomings suggest that she has not built a system that allows other artists to do the same. The label requires consistent investment, robust marketing, and a willingness to let artists take risks and even fail publicly in order to grow. Without those elements, Beyonce's name may open doors for her signees, but it has yet to keep them open long enough for those artists to truly thrive. All of the tomfoolery puts a crack in Parkwood's brand. Signing to Beyonce's label should be a dream scenario with instant industry credibility, access to elite producers, and the stamp of approval from one of the most respected names in music. But after watching how Chloe's debut was handled, the dream started to look like a nightmare. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room. When it comes to music, Beyonce's air of mystery is part of her magic. She is one of the last true pop stars who can disappear for months, then re-emerge without warning and bring the entire world to a halt. Her rare interviews, selective appearances, and carefully orchestrated album rollouts create a sense of grandeur that fuels her status as an untouchable icon. In music, the less she says, the more people speculate, and in that world, speculation equals hype. But when the same approach is applied to business, especially in consumer-facing industries like fashion, beauty, or lifestyle products, the results can be far less magical. In business, customers want accessibility. They want to feel like they are buying into a lifestyle they understand and can see themselves in. Brands like Rihanna's Fenty and Kim Kardashian's Skims thrive because the founders are visibly engaged, constantly talking to their audience.
See, Rihanna got more time to dedicate to that because she ain't doing music right now.
And regularly showing themselves using the
maybe
products
that is
in
Beyonce's
real life.
problem.
In contrast, Beyonce rarely lets people behind the curtain, and that absence of personal connection can make her products feel cold or abandoned once the launch excitement wears off. Another challenge is the assumption that name recognition alone will carry a brand indefinitely. Beyonce's fame is immense, but even the most famous names cannot rely solely on celebrity status to drive consumer loyalty. Beyonce's ventures often seem to operate on the belief that the initial tidal wave will be enough to sustain them, rather than committing to the slow, ongoing work of nurturing a consumer base. There is also a relatability gap that her competitors have managed to close. When Rihanna posts a bare-faced selfie applying Fenty skin, or Kim Kardashian casually promotes Skims in a dressing room video, audiences can imagine themselves in the same moment. With Beyonce, there is often a disconnect between the aspirational image she embodies and the day-to-day reality of the products she sells. Few people truly believe she's running errands in an Ivy Park tracksuit, and without moments that humanize her product use, the items feel more like collectibles than essentials. Beyonce's name will always command stages.
I don't think that's it. Because with her current business venture, she's had a lot actually. Because she didn't even mention the current one, which is the hairline Sacred. Beyonce is trying to be more personable, and she's like showing her getting her hair washed and all of that. But is that helping the sales? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Sacred is doing well, so maybe it's too early to tell if it's flopping, but I don't see it anywhere. And I've currently been buying a lot of hair products lately because I'm back on my hair journey, and I have not seen that anywhere. So I don't know if you can only buy it online or what the deal is, or maybe it's Fence and it's only in Bloomingdale's or something. I don't know, but yeah, I don't see people like hyping that up at all. So yeah, I think it goes beyond that. I don't think it's because Beyonce isn't relatable. I think it's because people, although they love Beyonce's music and they like her as an artist and entertainer, nobody is like trying to be like Beyonce, if that makes sense. like the average everyday person, not people in the industry, obviously, but you know, when you think of Rihanna, everybody was like wanting to be like Rihanna. Like when she, you know, cut her hair and her different hairstyles and fashions, people were trying to emulate that. Same with Kim Kardashian. She had a crazy influence as well, where people wanted to look fake and plasticky and snatched and stuff like the Kardashians. So they want to buy those products because they think that it'll make them look or be more like that artist. And you think of Kylie. Remember her little lip kit shit? That went crazy. People loved her lips. And they're like, oh, okay, well, let me, you know, buy this product and maybe I can have lips like Kylie. Even though that's a very flawed way of thinking. People are stupid. So they think that buying a product will make me be more like this person or look like them or whatever the case. So that's the issue. You know, people don't actually, like the average person doesn't really want to be Beyonce, and she doesn't have anything that I feel like people want to emulate. And it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with her. Like obviously she's beautiful and people love her music and they love her as an artist, but she just doesn't have that that people want to emulate, if that makes sense. If anything, they see Beyonce more of like this goddess figure that they can't be like, you know? So I think that's the disconnect. Because when I'm thinking of artists who have done really well with their products that they put out, it's because people want to be them to some degree. But who knows? What do I know? She does have a lot of failed businesses, though, when you bring all the facts together. Ain't no denying that. But hopefully it works out for her in the future. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!